I almost would have expected Moscow 5 with Dignitas here, the way the bans are going. The other thing that's interesting is, though they banned out the Urgot they saw last time, they banned Gangplank, and Moscow 5 has not run Gangplank yet the entire tournament.
Are they forcing Shyvana ban here and leaving Shen open, maybe?
They should ban Aurelia
Or are they
instead.
going to ban Shen, in which case they're going to pick up Shyvana straight away?
Well, both teams have always gotten rid of Shen every single time, I believe. CLG might have run Shen against Moscow 5, I don't quite remember. But no, it's going to be Nocturne, so all that is still available here. Aurelia and Shen both. This is the first time, actually, that Shen's been allowed for either of these two teams. Because I don't remember what happened with Moscow 5 versus CLG number 1. But up until then, yeah. Aurelia, I think Dignitas might be baiting for Aurelia, too. They want to give that to Voyboy, so we'll see what happens here. Also, Rhyme was not banned from before.
Okay, so interestingly, well, I mean, we've seen Rise being picked first time, and you can counter him. There's, he's quite a short-range champion, but will be built up fairly strong late on. But that means that Shyvana's available, Shen's available, Janna's available. Yeah, Aurelia's available. Which one will they go for in these first two picks? I mean, it's a big decision for them to make. There's a lot of pressure on. Do they feel they can lock down that top lane? Do they think they want to take a Shyvana away from Moscow 5? Because if they don't take it, it's almost certainly going to be picked up by Moscow 5. And I think, actually, I'm not too sure about Shen for Darien. I don't know how much Darien's played Shen. Obviously, generally in most games, he's banned out of there. Yeah. So probably has had practice of it. Like you say, they've had a 10-day session, which I think has worked very well for them. They did the exact same thing before Kiev. They were there for 7 days ahead of time, completely practiced. And actually, it's a big shout-out for the rank 5v5s.
Yep, and I really like this Aurelia Shyvana grab here because it actually goes one step farther than what CLG had, where CLG banned Lee Sin, Gangplank, Shyvana, and they grabbed Nocturne. Well, Dignitas have also banned out Nocturne here, so they're going to go even deeper into that jungler pool, and we'll see just how many champions Diamonds knows. Darien also not getting Aurelia this time, does not have the Shyvana available here, so we'll see what other solo tops he plays. And they've already grabbed Rise, so I don't think they're going to do the Ken and Vladimir. Well, they almost definitely won't. They could run AD Ken, they could still run Darien Vlad, but I think Darien would lose to Aurelia at that point. They're going to grab Janna, and Janna is a great champion for them. Moscow 5 do love running that champion. They've only really allowed her to be picked for the other team a couple of times this tournament. She's been the most popular support for sure so far at this IEM World Championship. But I can't predict the rest of this lineup here. I don't know what they're going to go for.
Yes, whether they're going to go for Shen, they are going to go for Shen by the looks of it. So 12 seconds to lock that one in. And Janna as well. I'm trying to wonder, Ghosty Pepper hasn't played Janna too much throughout this tournament. He generally goes with all sorts of supports, and he has actually been with Sona quite a few times. I think COG went to pick Sona both games. I may be wrong with that one. There has been a lot of games this tournament, and they've all been fantastic, which is great.
Oh yeah, almost every single game has been phenomenal. A lot of them have been just ridiculously close, and I remember actually at the end of the third place match yesterday, every other booth was closed, and the only thing up in the halls was just this match.
Yeah,
it was still packed, which was great because you guys are awesome. There's a lot of picks available, so here's the Janna's gone. With Urgot out, they might just grab that Corki as they always do, and as I say that, there's the Corki grab. And we'll see what else they're going to try to do here. They still could pick the Mage. They could pick that last, honestly, but pretty much the last two slots here, which is Support and Mage, they've already got their counterparts available there. Soraka, we've not seen her very often in this tournament. Apparently, they do not want to grab Nunu. I would have expected Nunu to be a pretty decent pick here, but they will insta-lock in that Soraka. We saw her being played, I think, by Curse in the match that Curse almost won against Moscow 5.
Yeah, they're the closest so far as well.
Yeah, and it was Soraka Cog, I believe, bottom lane. Or I forget the AD carry entirely, but they did run Soraka in that game, and that was the closest Moscow 5 got to losing that in CLG. So,
and actually, that game, I think, was the one that Voyboy went on a massive spree.
He is Aurelia.
So he has been very strong. Yeah, and again, he was Aurelia. He has been very strong against them. So we could see the return of it. And, of course, Udyr. We forgot about Udyr. Of course, obviously, what are the junglers you've got available? Well, I've got a big pool of them, actually. I could just take anything. And Udyr, actually, COG will kind of lock it in. St. Bishop's really his character of choice for quite a while throughout this tournament. And, of course, Genja on Kog'Maw has been a very strong thing as well. And but Russian from behind us there.
And that's going to be really, really strong. Janna is a great... Janna and Shen both are great babysitters for Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw will get to scale to late game this entire time. And yeah, they can try to dive that with Shyvana and Aurelia, but that's going to be very, very difficult. We'll see if he grabs Mordekaiser again. It's very melee heavy against Janna, which is a little bit scary, but at that point, with a Mordekaiser, you get to burst really hard there. Or he could run thing is, Veigar's tricky because Veigar's not good against Ryze, but Veigar's really good against Kog'Maw. And we saw that work pretty well, actually. Morgana actually looks like they're going to protect the Corki a little bit. Also, it gives the Black Shield to Aurelia, so Aurelia can jump down on Kog. I like that. Morgana actually really good against Janna there because you can use that Black Shield to prevent the Monsoon pushing them back, and you get yourselves the ability to just push on through and guarantee. And here, Black Shield could be all he needs to get some kills.
Okay, interesting. We're going for a remake here. Where do you stand on this? Because for me, that seemed like a remake to change my runes. And I thought that wasn't allowed.
Well, they are all in the lobby, and the faster we click the start button, the less chance they have to actually hop into the rune page. I'm not sure what the remake was about exactly. Maybe they tried to do a last-second swap and then didn't do it in time.
Yeah.
I don't know quite what it would be. Maybe they wanted more time to think about what skins they wanted. But everyone is back into the game. I am ready, and we'll see if the teams are. But what do you predict for the actual winner here? Because we've got, a very good diving team here. Shyvana, Aurelia, Morgana, Corki, and I forgot, Soraka in there who can dump out some support as well. Moscow 5 team, though, they've got a lot of really big threats there. Ryze and Kog'Maw able to put out damage every second for a very, very long time. Shen and Udyr can be very big damage threats as well, also very tanky. We've got that Janna just for the very big protection there for the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and the big thing for me is, every game we've done, every best of 3 we've done, we've had 2-0s.
We have actually.
So by rule of thumb, Moscow 5 should take this 2-0.
Yeah, but there's only ever been actually one full 3-game series, and that was a.
Me and Joe done both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know it was AAA CLG, and then the other one. What was the other?
COG AAA, and what was the one we did the other day? It was the quarterfinals. God, there's been too many games.
SK? Oh.
Yeah, SK versus AAA, of course, was the other best of 3. So we're going towards blind pick. They're just going to quickly lock in those champions and get into the game. But, Dignitas, they're going to have the pressure on them. Moscow 5 just played brilliantly. So, as from a confidence point of view, they've got to be careful they're not overconfident, diving in now. Oh dear, this time, will we see any sort of craziness from this time? And I don't think we will, because Genji's not going to be able to just be as strong. He won't be able to 2v1 it, so he's going to be with Grosu Pepper down the bottom there. Will we see any roaming from Dignitas? Probably not. It's only going to be the 2 junglers this time, so it's going to be a bit more of a standard meta from both teams, I believe.
And we're going to see how this bottom lane turns out there. Normally, Cutie Pie and Locust win their bottom lane, even against all authority, when Yellowstar got a double kill there at the very, very start of the game, and they still managed to equal out in minions there. Cutie Pie was playing Ezreal that time. Yellowstar was on Corki. But, as we saw last game, the bottom lane 1v2, actually, Genja still won that. Now, Kog'Maw, less of an aggressive laner, and Dignitas do love to play very aggressively in your face. So we'll see if that ends up being a really big deal for them. But we have the delay ticker counting on down. We'll be getting into the game very, very shortly.
And will we see the similar sort of style that COG maybe ran, which is the split push? Obviously, when you got Shen, you can just easily, quite happily keep him in one lane, keep the other guys down, and you can just ulti straight in anytime you like. He doesn't need teleport, which gives them a big advantage straight away, certainly for the dragon fights. Obviously, they went for a 7-minute dragon last time around. Very early stuff. Obviously, that was because they managed to build up such a huge advantage, but there's a lot of things available for Moscow 5 in this one. But like you say, damage-wise, Dignitas looking good.
Yeah, Dignitas have more total damage threats, I think, just by a little bit. But the amount of damage threat on a Kog'Maw is a little bit higher than that for a Corki.
If you let it.
Well, yeah, if you let him. I mean, he pays for that by being unsafe. And a Black Shielded Aurelia, good luck being safe from that. But you never know. Proper team play can make that work out just fine for Moscow 5. And I just can't quite predict that one. I sort of predicted last time that Dignitas' late game setup would just win it out for them, but they got crushed in the first sort of 20, and almost to the point where they couldn't come back anymore. And they just got they kind of got aced twice in a row. So, we'll see if it's going to be the teamwork or what, but we are into the game here. Guys, give a cheer, give a round of applause for Moscow 5 and Dignitas. Back we are. This is game 2. The lineups we've got Alex Ish going to be playing Rise, the solo mid for Moscow 5. Goes to Pepper, the support on Janna. Third up is Genja, AD carry on Cog. He is Phoenix Udyr. Fine, the solo top is Shen there. Darien, who did do an amazing job last time, something like 9 and 2 in the previous game. I think it has Cutie Pie on Corki, the AD carry. Locust Soraka going to be supporting their 3 wards in the opening build. Will dominate jungling on Shyvana. Voyboy solo top as Aurelia. Has had a lot of hype about him this tournament, but so far in this final not been as dominant as he was before. And finally, Scarra solo mid playing mage. Actually, 2 health and a mana potion in the opening build is going to be Morgana here. See how that works out for him. Minions have spawned and no invasions actually happening from either team. 1 safe ward here from Dignitas. And a pretty aggressive ward actually from Moscow 5. There comes a pull up on the Wraiths, and that's going to be going to I Will Dominate. Burnout taking those down, and now onto the blue buff.
Yeah, meanwhile, they see the golems being taken away by Moscow 5. They have picked up the Wraiths, the Wolves, sorry, and they will go towards the golems. And the blue buff, well, I'm going to assume it's going to go towards Dominate, but Keatspy is hanging around for it. No, he will go back. He's just helping out Dominate for a quick and early start, which means actually Dominate didn't use his smite that time. Yeah. So we'll keep our eye on that one. So we'll look down the bottom. And Genja actually starting out with a Doran's Blade there. That's a pretty aggressive start from Kog'Maw.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be doing a lot of damage there. I guess they figured that with a Soraka lane, Soraka's not the most aggressive support. He's not going to get bullied out too much, which surprised me because, again, Dignitas is really known for being an aggressive lane here. But Moscow 5 actually already had put down 2 wards to check for counter jungling or to check for invasions at bottom, and so they know that Dominate was not going for that at all. It's actually quite the advantage there. I mean, it's thankful that he didn't even try to invade there, but Udyr's going to have his Lizard pretty quickly here. Shyvana the same, slightly ahead to level 3. A little bit of pressure back and forth. Cutie Pie taking some damage from Genja. His top lane, we're going to see how Voyboy can do against Darien. Darien actually winning the lane so far, doing a lot of damage here. And Shyvana actually making her way up to this top lane. We're going to see if they can get a gank out of this. He has already learned Shadow Dash. Voyboy going to go in there, go for the attacks. There's a stun, and he's up into range of Darien. The Ignite is on. He's going to dash in one more time, but no, not enough damage. Did make him burn Flash. Otherwise, though, not a lot of other pressure.
No, and he's had to back away from that one. Like you say, Dignitas going with that early defensive ward straight away over at Wraiths there, so making sure they didn't get the invade this time. I Will Dominate, obviously not happy with being caught out on the red buff, pretty much unawares that it was coming. Goes to Pepper there, forced to back away. I'm a Cutie Pie putting a quick blind in his face. Scarra has got Diamonds just below him, and Diamonds is coming out now. You can see he managed to get the Rune Prison down in. Oh, and a very good Dark Bindings there from Scarra. Has to burn the Flash, so is going to get dived on the turret. I think it might be first blood. Yes, it will be. Moscow 5 going very aggressive and tower diving at level 4 there. Very nicely played. And Moscow 5, well, they did it again, didn't they?
Yeah, they've been really, really good at punishing mid, and it's pretty much a trademark move for Moscow 5, too, is the general, like, Flash Rune Prisons from Alex. Had just enough mana to full combo that, and that's what you get for going boots first on Udyr. You get some really, really good ganks, even against someone like Morgana. We saw she had went forward, and it was like on cue, too, had went forward for a last hit and completely overextended, got picked up by the spell combo.
So you can see bottom lane has been pushed. Genja, I think, is going to stick around. I don't expect them to go back up by yet. 788 gold. Keep an eye, see where I Will Dominate goes. They really want to get an early kill on that Shen of Darien. But unfortunately for him, he's got that Doran's Shield start out, and he's just going to be quite tanky. You can see the ward going down from Voyboy there, so he's just been back on board. Actually gone towards, building towards Mercury Treads possibly there. Have a look towards Locust. Locust got to be very careful. Went actually the very long way around there, and is going to go all the way back around as well. Immediately the pings go down. Oh, and a ping straight down from Ghostly Pepper to clear out that river. So that ward has been immediately cleared out by Moscow 5. Very well aware of that, so which means they want to try and open up some ganks for Diamonds there, or at least a little bit of roaming around that bottom river. In the middle, Alex Ich, say, did manage to pick up the assist. Unfortunately, it was the kill for Darien. Just keeping my eye on Voyboy at the top there. Goes diving in. Actually took a tower hit. That was less than ideal. And you can see Darien immediately taking effect on that one. Will try and lunge towards him, and Voyboy's going to have to back away and keep chucking down those potions.
Locust roaming around the map. A little bit of harassment there actually from Ghostly Pepper, who's now low on mana, but Genja getting lower and lower. Still has Summoner Heal and Flash though, so it shouldn't be too easy to kill. Cutie goes for, oh man, Voyboy getting lower and lower from Darien. Still has his own Flash, but Darien has Ignite, so if he can burst enough damage, Flash will not save you from dying, so gotta be a little bit careful there. Diamond's gonna go back into his jungle, put out a little bit more, but they've been pushing Genja down pretty well. He's down to 37 minions. So Corki actually probably won't be winning it in minions after this this tower attempt. But they've bullied him around a little bit. They've done a decent job there. Alex coming up towards the top though, and Voyboy could be dropping very, very soon here.
Yeah, actually, Alex was spotted straight away by that ward that Voyboy had placed earlier on. Voyboy continuing to just stick in lane, has had to go through all those health pots though, so Darien doing a fantastic job of keeping away. Meanwhile, Darien is obviously just sat there. All he's had so far is that Doran's shield. Voyboy now has got I Will dominating, trying to bait him towards him. Scar's just gone back to bio. I'll keep an eye on that. He has managed to bait Darien out. This time they're going to go in. Exhaust goes down. You can see the exhaust, the ignite on him. I Will dominate didn't die for it there. Didn't want to get taunted on the tower and just backs away from it. Voyboy though will keep the harass down, but they needed to kill there, I feel. Yeah,
they needed to do a little bit more there. Unfortunately, though, between Shadow Dash and Feint, he tanked a fair good amount of that damage. That's the problem with having a jungle like Shyvana and not Udyr, is you don't bring any crowd control yourself unless you've got red buff and that. I mean, damage is nice, but it just was not enough. So far, Shen still surviving his lane, doing a pretty good job last hitting. He's winning that lane.
He is winning that lane. Skara has been back, got himself a double Doran's rings. Alex Seek's trying to burn out as much as he can to force him back for a short while. The blue buff has spawned, and I don't think Dignitas are going to be able to respond to this one. But the ward from Janna there, I believe, has come up and placed it onto blue. Can they manage to get into steal it? I don't think they will be able to do anything about it. You can see that Goosey Pepper is lingering, but Cogmore is a long way away. Goosey Pepper's going to have to pull up something spectacular to try and get the steal with that Howling Gale. It will go up and nearly got it, actually, but Skara will manage to steal it away. You can see Alex Each also picking up the one from his side of the map, so both teams picking up their respective buffs so far. Mikita trying to catch on towards Genji. You can see they've had to ward up that bottom brush, so Moscow 5 continuing to keep hold of that bottom lane.
Yeah, but I'm surprised actually for having, you know, a lane like this that they're not really getting bullied out whatsoever. I would have expected, especially from Cutie Pie, a much more aggressive sort of set of plays here. Mid lane, some aggression coming in. Alex could get jumped on. Voyboy waiting in the wings, but it seems like he's sensed that one out and has left. Actually, the ward would have spotted him coming across, so they did know about Voyboy. Alex, but successfully saved.
Yeah. The lack of games from Dignitas could become a problem, but it is only 1-0, so they are not having too bad a game so far. You can see the CS down the bottom lane. It is slightly in the advantage for Corki. We've just got a glimpse of diamonds going across there. Remember, ward about to be placed actually by Locust, I think, there. And a pink ward, I think, to place there. And they have gone towards Locust. Locust getting caught out there by Cogmore. Can he manage to catch him down? No, he will not. He's had to use the heal, though. And Amakita by turning around immediately, throwing out one of his ultis and missing. And Goosey Pepper actually took a lot of damage from that fight. Meanwhile, at the top, Voyboy being kept away from the CS at the moment by Darien. Darien doing a fantastic job. Does dash in now, quick engage. And Voyboy coming out far worse again there against Darien. Darien has been back to bike, got himself that Giant's Belt. Meanwhile, in the middle, you can see Diamond's getting caught out as well with a Dark Bindings. Just keep an eye on that top lane as Voyboy continues to harass on towards Darien. This time Shyvana will come around the backside. Has I Will Dominate got the position this time? You can see Darien is immediately going to try and get away from this one. Oh, I Will Dominate go for the ulti, but he managed to dash out of it. I think Darien may have enough. He's just going to dash straight across here and will get away. Actually used the flash though, so Summoner Spell used. Skara was coming up to try and cover him off, but they are avoiding any damage at the moment, Freak.
Yeah, that was a really, really good sort of set of spidey senses there by Darien, sensing that the gank was coming because of where Voyboy's position was and walked all the way around, juking pretty much everything, and he's doing a great job this game, winning the lane in minions, and pretty much everyone, you know, winning their lanes quite well. First blood on Skara, of course, did help Rise quite a bit, playing aggressively here, pushing back Skara, who he does land the Q, but of course, Torrent of Soil already been used, so won't get any follow-up damage there on Alex. Who's actually already grabbed some magic resist too with the Negatron cloak. So he's not going to be going down. Genja actually quite low though. Cutie Pie could dive in. Still has flash and summoner heal, but still he could force those summoners away. They have the ward coverage to not die to Udyr. I'm surprised I'm really just, again, surprised they're not playing more aggressively. This is kind of unlike Dignitas.
Yeah, I think they're very worried about those ganks coming in. Obviously, as soon as they placed their ward, remember the pink ward was placed on top of it, so they've kind of been very cautious of that Diamonds, which has just come across with an Oracle now, Diamonds, and has cleared out those wards of Dignitas immediately. That's going to force them back in there, which is actually, despite the fact they know they're not getting the kills, it's actually keeping Dignitas away from a lot of the CS, and Diamonds comes in, he realises the job he's doing. Did just catch a glimpse of Alex Hitcher having to come around and clear out those wraiths because he caught sight of I Will Dominate going towards him, so he's like, well, I'd rather take them myself. And Diamonds, is he going to go for that? He's going to find out another ward. So that's the third ward he's already picked up with that Oracles. Meanwhile, down the bottom, Cutie getting the slow on him. The ulti will land on him, but he's going to back away from that one. I think that's going to be enough for Genja to maybe go back and buy. He has got triple Dorans and there's boots. And yeah, it's going to be a teleport back for Genja.
Yeah, 1,000 gold, so we might go for the Wriggles Zeal build we saw before. Want to have enough for a Zeal in full, but see what he goes for here. Looks like just going to be the Brawler's Gloves and some health potions, so looks like it will be a Zeal rush here. So the mid lane Scar still farming up against Alex. Alex with his Tear of the Goddess. 76 mana on it so far, so not super advanced, but Ghost Pepper actually going to recall as well, so a lot of minions languishing now in this bottom lane. As everyone actually went back to buy, BF Sword picked up on Cutie Pie. This is probably the best chance for Dignitas to play aggressively. They have a big item advantage now that he has that BF Sword. And actually for the first time, I think, ever in the world, Cutie Pie did not get 3 Doran's Blades.
Moscow 5 seem to be reacting to this. They've realised that Dignitas have gone back and they're going to try and quickly get Dragon, but I don't think they've done it quick enough. Shyvana is back there. Cogmore is back there. Sorry, Corki's coming back as well for Dignitas. They have the ward placement here, so they can see that it's happening. You can see Moscow 5 trying to burn it as quick as possible. They're going to peel away. They're going to keep on it. They have the smite ready. Will I Will Dominate be able to get in? No. Moscow 5 managed to get the smite down, and a good free exchange there. And Moscow 5 going to be happy with that Dragon.
18-15, the respawn there. See how that works out for him. You can see Genja going back to last hitting, and he's at, let's see, 89 to 89. Actually equalized the lane entirely. Plus, of course, they have that Dragon advantage. You can see a 2,000 gold lead right now for Moscow 5. It hasn't been growing aside from the Dragon kill. But Voiboy still having a tough time at bottom lane. 91 to 76, 15 minions.
Now Will Dominate going up towards that top lane. I realised, Darian, immediately there was a ping go down. They have such good vision control. They're like, okay, he could be going towards the blue. The ping went, so like, well, we've got to keep our eye out. And Diamonds actually went around the side there, looking for all the spots where possibly I Will Dominate could be lurking to try and get this steal away. Remember, they don't have smite, so they wouldn't have been able to protect it if they did, because Dragon was going away. But nevertheless, Alex will pick that up. Scar is having to pick up his own blue, and will do that, so can keep in hold of those blues for the next few moments. Diamond's now diving in towards Voiboy. Voiboy might get caught out of position here. Does have to use a flash. He's got an ulti popping backwards, so that will keep him at range there. And the Clairvoyance actually used on him. They kind of wanted to go for him there. Diamonds is wondering whether he's going to maybe interrupt him. He's got to be a little bit careful, though. He has got that Oracle on, doesn't want to waste that one. I Will Dominate, meanwhile, just to the right-hand side of him, picking up that red buff.
Cutie Pie, and actually now Locust getting pushed away by Genja. It's like he will not keep pushing in there. Soraka has Wish, of course, so she'd be safe. And Wish is actually going to help Dignitas quite a bit. Moscow 5 are very good at diving in for kills. But Wish will help stymie that a little bit, so we'll see if that's going to work out for Dignitas or not, or if the lack of sort of team fight safety, with the lack of Monsoon is going to be a bigger problem there. Scar last hitting quite successfully, and he's going to keep moving in towards his turret now. Nope, never going to back off. A little bit afraid of Alex and possibly Udyr, because actually Diamonds is right there. Clears up wards again with his oracles. Voiboy roaming again towards the mid. And then, yeah, no, he's still going to wait around. Shyvana waiting in the wings as well. I Will Dominate. Might go to clear some wards. Scar might bait here. Dominate going to run into Udyr. They're going to get caught out. See if they go for any more damage. Alex is running over. Dominate might have spotted the ward if he went into the brush. Alex, though, did not take any bait, did not push forward there.
Yeah, they were hoping he would try and go in for him. And Shyvana will go into that bush, realised that there was a ward there. Immediately down the bottom there, you can see it diving on towards Locust. Locust might get taken down. Zephyr goes down. The exhaust on Genja, though, might be enough to hold him off, but he will go down. And now Valkyrie from Cutie Pie and Moscow 5 pick up the second kill of the game. And they are, scarily enough for Dignitas, starting to win that bottom lane.
Yeah, great job by Genja and Gosu Pepper. Jump in. You saw, actually, Kog'Maw, they knew how the lane was moving, and Kog'Maw waited at the very front of the brush down there, and as soon as Soraka face checked, he unloaded everything. The slow was on, they exhausted Corki, so Corki could not stop Kog'Maw, and then Cutie Pie had to just rush out there, and he's actually going for his trademark build, that Black Cleaver. He picks that whenever he has auto attackers on his team who want to rely on that armor reduction. Voidboy not having a fun time at top lane. Sustain from Hitan style is not keeping him alive enough. Darien with a level advantage and a minion advantage still is pretty happy with that one.
So you can see a little poke in the middle there, and both junglers with the oracles on, and Diamonds is going to spot that. I think that's about the 6th or 7th ward I've seen him picking up so
actually
far.
pushing the bottom lane. PewDiePie fighting up with Genja. The Shen ult comes in, keeping him alive, and the taunt lands. PewDiePie going down. Excellent job there. And Diamond's already there at top lane to stop the Voidboy from pushing down the turret. Great team coordination.
And great
3-0.
protection as well there. So Genja, well dived on, already having that problem. And that's going to give Voidboy a little bit of free lane, but not for too long. You can see Skara going across trying to get those wraiths away. And actually, for the first time, I think he started to get in a little bit of invade. But you can see Alex Each coming back with that Banshee's Veil on as well. He is not going to be too scared about Skara anymore. He can't get those dark bindings on him. He's quite happily got a little buff over there. And you can see immediately he's just being so aggressive and just keeping them at bay. Skara's going to... Is he going to go back? No, he's not. He's got an easy large rod. Trying to build up towards that Zhonya's early on. Will Black shielded up. Alex Hitch gives him another blast to the face and continues to keep him away from any of the CS, but it's hard to keep that pull away from them. And he's just going to farm up with that at the moment. But Dignitas having to regroup here, and they're still really not been able to pick up any kills. Will Dominate just passing a ward there. Will pick it up. But Dignitas are having a problem in these lanes, and they're not winning out in any lane at all at the moment. They are struggling. IEM getting a quick burst on him from Cogmore, and Cogmore is becoming a scary beast down the bottom there already.
Yeah, PewDiePie not doing a very good job in this lane. He's last hitting very well though, 130. He's keeping up with Cogmore almost. He's actually down 12 right now, but still, considering how this game is going, that's not too bad. But they do need something to happen in Dignitas' favor, and they've not been able to push really anywhere. Dominate playing Shyvana has not been able to pin down Darien almost whatsoever. He's never gotten a gank at mid or bottom either, so really, Moscow 5 are just sort of playing as happily as they want to, winning their lanes as they wish. Their late game is phenomenal. It's going to really rely on Aurelia to actually stop this Kog'Maw, who for once, actually did go Wriggles again, so he's actually plenty durable. With a Janna shield in there as well, might just be able to face tank Aurelia in most of these fights. Ghost Viper pushing back there on PewDiePie, did know he's going to take some damage here. Still getting lower and lower, but now Genja's here to say, hey, back off Janna.
Yeah, indeed, manages to get the ulti on towards PewDiePie as well. So immediately Genja being very aggressive straight in there. Diamonds is joining Alex in the middle there, not being able to get him towards Skara though. Has completed that Zhonya's Hourglass now. They're going to move across, try and pick up blue. Skara's going to do identical thing. So again, that's going to be both teams picking up a blue of their own. Genja clearing out down that bottom. Has come back with that Wriggles, I believe you just mentioned. Meanwhile, PewDiePie went straight for a BF sword. Probably going to go for a Black Cleaver Brief. That's his standard sort of build he's been building towards. Skara is going to get the protection. PewDiePie comes down there. Dragon has spawned out, and Moscow 5 looking like they're starting to react to that. Dignitas, though, in position to maybe get away their first Dragon, I believe, of the World Finals here.
Yeah, this might be the case. They are grouping around it. Udyr just recalled, which is probably the best time for Dignitas to do anything here. I will dominate in mid with Skara and PewDiePie. They're all shoving mid right now. It's very strange to have 3 in mid. They could go for the turret kill, actually. This would be pretty nice. Everyone else is out of position, and they are going to go for this one. And I think this is actually their first turret kill of the World Finals as well. They will pick this one up, and there we go. And see if they can move on now towards the Dragon. Dignitas moving away, goes to Pepper nearby. Scar's a little bit afraid. Logos is there. Kog'Maw actually still pushing bot lane. He's going to give up the turret. There's the Oracle sweep on the ward, and yes, they're going to pull up on Dragon. But everyone else is nearby. Shen, of course, can ult in. Aurelia coming down from base. Diamond's in range now. Dignitas, this is going to be a little bit difficult for them. They're still going to get lower and lower. Diamond's still staying nearby. Darien picks up the turret kill at top. There's some pressure on PewDiePie. The Shen ult goes off. Diamond's got a giant shield, and immediately they go in. Morgana with the Zhonya's. The pop. Alex Ish, he is going to go down, and now will it be Genja? Looks like it's going to be the target. Voidboy, no, Ghost of Pepper going to take a massive amount of damage. PewDiePie running away from Diamonds. The exhaust is on. Voidboy still going in, but falls to Genja, who's incredibly powerful. Diamond's taking more damage. PewDiePie, the ignite, and oh, the damage output. And now it looks like Dignitas forced to run away. They've lost 3. Logos will be stunned. They've now lost 4. The Oracles is gone. Only Morgana alive, and there we go. Darien pulling up on Dragon. A great team fight from Moscow 5. Even with Rise dying right away, they cleaned up a lot of kills thanks to Udyr. Some pressure up on the Darien, but it will not matter. Skara will run. Dragon picked up 26-18 the respawn.
Yeah, not good for Dignitas there. For a moment, I thought when Scar had got himself in there with Morgana, popping that Zhonya's, but they just couldn't get on towards Genja. He kept his positioning very well. He was far back there. And of course, that was the Oracle lost, which Shyvana had. Less than ideal, and Genja will continue to farm up. Has got that Zeal on him as well. You can see Udyr, well, still kept that Oracles on him. Had a little bit of a mistargeting as well. You know, the problem is Moscow 5 are pretty tanky. They did get Alex Each down pretty early on. You can see that bottom lane continuing being pushed. Will it go down to minions? I think Corki might just be able to save it for a brief second, but it is on 59 hit points left on it. Alex Each now has returned to late, got that Glacial Shroud on him now as well, so he's going to be stronger and stronger as he goes. And Voyboy, well, he's lost his lane again. It's a fact, and you know they've been trying to get those ganks on Shen. It is very hard to get him though, and he's a slippery little sucker. And why will Dominate has not been able to pin him down? See, with the lack of crowd control that you do get from Shyvana, he does put great damage output. You have no crowd control. You can see Locust actually being pushed on by Genja there. Goes through Pepper, having to use his ulti on towards IEM. Alex Each coming round, and now IEM is surely going to get pinned out here. Genja will finish him off. He didn't even need the help from Alex, but he managed to get the steal regardless. Not going to thank him for that one. Shen, meanwhile, is Darian feeling strong enough to just go straight up and 1v1 Voyboy in the face? I think he might be. They've both built a wit's end though. Voyboy, though, is going to have to back away from this one.
Yeah, he's still down about 22 minions right now. He picked up 2 kills in that one team fight, so he has all Dignitas' kills right now, but Shen managed to pick up 3 so far, so he's in all kinds of a happy place right now, and he's still ahead of Voyboy. Scar now in a dangerous place. Black Shield was down, so that stun's going to land, and he's down to half health already. Will have Zhonya's, and let's see if they can get enough damage with Dominate. Alex will get stunned here. He's going to get pulled into the turret, but no, Shen'l's going to say, hey, we don't really care. And now Dominate going to get Shen underneath the turret.
Wow.
Will not matter. Kill picked up as well. Excellent teamwork there by Moscow 5, pulling themselves a 7,000 gold lead, and Kog'Maw being pulled towards the top of the map. They might go for Baron.
You can only applaud that, really. I mean, that was just great play from Moscow 5. Very well executed. Perfect placement. And, you know, even despite the fact that whether they knew that Dominate was there or not, as soon as he came out, it's just like, well, we're going to deal with that. We're going to take away this now. The Darian diving on towards Voyboy is going to keep Voyboy away from this fight. IEM coming back in there. He's got Black Cleaver completed. Will manage to do a bit of damage, but oh, look at that. Kog'Maw catches onto him. IEM is going to go down. Darian now, you can see Voyboy trying to get across, trying to use his ulti. No, he didn't get the steal. Instead, it is going to be Voyboy that will go down. Does manage to stun Darian out. Can he dash across and get it on him? It doesn't matter. They don't care. They have 5 men up with that Baron buff, and well, can anyone in the world stop Moscow 5? That's the question. They've gone untouchable throughout this tournament. I'm looking that way again. They have just been fantastic form this event.
Yep, there we go. Scar putting out a little bit of harassment there, but the turret does go down. 3 turrets, so all outer turrets now picked up by Moscow 5. Picked up every dragon, and now the Baron, this time not getting stolen, and they're looking in great shape. 10k gold the lead. And they're just, I mean, they're putting on a clinic, honestly. They've not made any mistakes that I could tell. I mean, the one mistake was, oh no, we took 2 deaths in a team fight that we won.
Yeah.
Oh no. So, Moscow 5 definitely playing well. It looks like they are looking to hold their lead. They did a good job last time of not giving that away. We'll see if they can keep that trend up. Genja going to be given the blue buff. Looks like they said, hey, you know, Rise, you have enough mana, you have enough cooldown reduction. Let's give it to someone else, okay?
Just give it to someone else. Skara will take up their blue though, and even the ping goes down from Moscow 5. They had the timings on that. Clairvoyance goes down just a little bit too late though. So Moscow 5 pushing up the middle there with that Baron buff. They've all been back to bite. Completed by 304 Genja. Shen is 404 as well. They could not pin him down at the start, and well, it's starting to show. He's becoming a very scary creature. Looking towards Shen, you can see he's up to 3,271 hit points. That will only get higher and higher as this game goes on. Moscow 5 carefully making sure they don't get picked off. We saw it yesterday with Dignitas versus Against All Authorities in the 3rd place playoff. The fact that they were a little bit wary, a little bit exhausted, I think, from playing all day, and actually got caught out in some pretty sloppy positions. That's what Dignitas actually need Moscow 5 to do, but I don't think that's going to happen. They have looked phenomenal throughout this event, and they are well on their game at the moment. Looking towards IEM, trying to keep Alex Each at range there. Meanwhile, you can see Diamond's quite happily tanking away on that turret. He has got minions with him, trying to cut across. You can see Shen getting ready to dive over as well. Skara is aware he's there. They've got the ward in that brush. And Voidboy actually going to come behind him. Are they going to try and dive on towards Darien? They might do. Darbinding's going out, didn't quite land it though, and they will back away from that one. Genja was there in support, but that bottom turret is going to go down. See the inner turret now for Moscow 5, picking it away. It's going to be 4-1 in turrets. Are they going to move around? Are Dignitas going to get caught out from behind here, or will they just keep pushing into the base? You know, if Dignitas don't respond to this, they're going to quite happily lay a bit more damage down to that base turret. Finally, Dignitas are going to have to peel away, but that's going to leave the exposed in the middle. And Dignitas continue to hammer away. Oh, they caught up towards Genja. Will they have to follow up? No. They don't really have the positioning to go for it. And they're kind of worried about these two Moscow 5 players, Diamonds and Alex Ich, pushing in towards this inner turret. Are they going to catch on to them? They have to try and come around the backside. No. Moscow 5 are too slippery.
Yep, they will run away. The Janna passive helping them ever so slightly as well. Global 3% movement speed for grabbing Janna. You see they're just poking so very well. Genja getting babysat by Ghost Pepper, and when he has Golem buff, you can basically just keep poking with that ultimate forever and ever and ever, rely on that mana regeneration to keep that going. Diamonds and Alex, and you called it, you know, they have Shen, they're going for that split pushing play style, but this time it's working, so I don't see why they would ever give this up.
I didn't expect the 3-lane split push. I gotta be honest.
They're so individually strong, they can do it. They have the tankiness in the Rise Udyr. They have the ability to just run really fast and CC everyone away with Janna and Kog'Maw. And then Shen is just Shen. He can dash, he can ult back into his team. It's working out for him. Again, the Dragon will be picked up here by Moscow 5. The Baron buff has ended, so about 29.50 for the respawn there. And about 33 minutes for the Dragon. Darien taking away pretty much all of the jungle. At least the rich half of it. And Alex now coming back around towards top, and looks like, once again, we're going to push more of these outer turrets. Got 4 of them. There are 2 more that are fairly easy they could go for. Dignitas actually sitting on top of a ward, so they know where most of the team is. And Kog'Maw actually going to be soloing bot lane. It's a little bit scary. He could get caught out. Take a page from Hot Shot's book. I had to.
You just had to hate on him there. But I'll keep my eye on Shen, because see Alex Ich sneaking up on the side of I Will Dominate. He will go past the ward though, so I Will Dominate will spot that straight away. And as you mentioned down the bottom there, Genja isn't going to get caught out, I don't think. That top inner turret will go down. Darien's been slowly working that one down. They are going to dive on him though. Genja is going to get caught out by Voidboy. Will this be enough? The ulti from Shen coming in, of course. He is available. Now they're going to turn it around. Can they get the slow across? They do manage to land the slow, and Voidboy will go down here, and Genja turns that one around. Darien picks up the kill. And you know what? You just can't do anything about that nasty Shen. He will get across that map, cover off, and that is the benefit we talked about in the picks and bans. It's so important, and they had that choice. Do we ban Shen? Do we ban Shyvana? What do we go for? And you know what? They had to leave them available, and whether that's just a case of they lost the game in the picks and bans, it's just been played very well by Moscow 5. Dignitas unable to capture any kills in the early lane phase. Like you mentioned, they only managed to get those 2 from that single team fight, and they've just not been able to catch Moscow 5 out. They are so on their game right now. They're just not leaving anything to chance.
Yeah, that was such a clever move too, to sort of bait with Kog'Maw. I gotta believe it was on purpose to say, hey, we want to break the stalemate somehow. Let's get a kill. I know, we can get Voidboy to go for Kog'Maw and then just shed ult and then flash dash when he dies. That was definitely a very, very good move there. You saw Kog'Maw actually holding onto Voidooz until he needed to use it to slow Aurelia's escape. Rise actually spamming Laugh. I like that a little bit. Oh, almost catching out Diamonds right there in the brush. Actually, Morgana might go for the dark. Oh, okay, it's down. Actually, she had used it earlier. Yeah. Baron going to be up very, very soon, within 20 seconds. Moscow 5 mostly ready. Shen, his ult's actually down for 15 seconds, so there's a small window here for Dignitas to make something happen. I don't think it's likely, though. That's ticking back up 10 seconds ago now. Actually, Shen waiting calmly in the brush. They actually don't see any of Dignitas anymore. Dignitas only sees Shen. They do know that Baron's still down for a few more seconds. This is very, very soon to spawn, though.
And Morgana is going to come around towards Darien. Darien's going to quite happily go for Skara there, having to shield up. Mikitapai coming around in support. Meanwhile, Genja again baiting and actually hammering away on that middle turret. He's going to back away. You can see he's trying to bait, see if anyone's going to come near him. Meanwhile, he's buying time for Shen to continue pushing that bottom lane. They're just split happily farming while the Baron gets picked up here. Just biding their time. Genja actually being used as a stopgap. Remember, obviously, Shen can push across, so that's keeping Aurelia over here. So it's going to be force a 4v4, or it's effectively a 5v5. Oh, Dominic getting caught out, tries to ulti in there, doesn't manage to get the steal, though. Now Diamonds is going to flash through and catch out Locust. That will turn it heavily in Moscow 5's favour. They're going to catch on towards Skara as well, put the ward down. Dark Binding does manage to catch on towards Diamonds. Shen is coming around the backside, though. It will be Skara they go for. Has got Zhonya's Hourglass to use. Will he go for it at all? No, I think it's a little bit too late, and he will get popped. Yeah, that's going to be 3 for nothing. Void now caught out as well. That's 4. And the 5th one will be Mikitapai, who's going to try to get away with that. Moscow 5 not too worried. They're going to turn around, pick away at those turrets. Bottom lane has already been pushed up. That base turret will go down. The Janna ulti helps them tank it through. And the inhibitor will follow 16-2. And well, that is it. Well played, Moscow 5. They are the world champions here at Intel Extreme Masters at CeBIT. It has been a fantastic performance from them and a really well-deserved championship. And what a great celebration from these guys. You know, it means a lot to them. $50,000 has been taken for this Russian team. They were champions in Kiev, and they've continued their dominance, losing 1 game across 2 events.
That's just phenomenal by them.